Hey Laura,
Wow.
I've been given this box.
A box?
Yeah, but not supposed to open it.
Well, I mean, you probably shouldn't open it then.
Nobody shouldn't open it, but what if I just...
I mean, maybe we don't open it. Maybe we just guess what's inside it. Well, I mean, if you want to open it, I ain't going to stop you, but, I'm not going to open it.
I mean, Zeus gave me the box, and I'm like, if I just open the box, there might be something cool. There might be some, godly powers or something in there.
Yeah, or it might be one of those, oh no, you've unleashed the plagues and the world. You thought you knew what evil was. No, you've unleashed super evil now.
Super evil?
Yeah, Evil 2, the sequel.
Yeah, I'm going to risk it.
What? What was in the box?
There's some skits in here.
Some skits.
Some skits. There are some skits, and there's some things we watched, listened, played with.
Gosh!
Oh, there's a couple of queer trans ladies.
Oh goodness, you better get them out of the box.
Come on, you two.
How you get?
Like TARDIS box magic. That's a cool box.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this here at the bottom?
What?
I think it's concentrated silliness.
That's a very dangerous thing to open. I can see why they were afraid of opening the box.
I got it caught in my nose.
I got it caught in my nose.
I think I could go to the hospital, but I just silly now.
Enjoy the concentrated silly, my dear.
Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Dale.
And I'm not Jane Aerith Magnet. And welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers, that podcast where two queer trans ladies have a bit of a catch-up and talk about our weeks and do some silly skits and voices and the such. How you doing this week, Jane?
Alright. The
Yeah.
weather's been lovely.
Oh, it has been. I finished my work in reasonable time today. I lay out in the sun in my hammock. Had a cider and some ice cream in a hammock. It was lovely. It was a wonderful day. Oh, goodness. It is very warm, though. It's
very warm.
The office where I work is upstairs in our building, which means heat rises and this room cooks.
Especially with this computer in here.
It's a computer kicking out many heat. I've
dust.
opened all the windows in the hopes that we can survive. And hopefully everything will be okay.
All of the one window.
All of the one window. Well, it's quite a big window. It's not a tiny window. Anyway, we should probably start on the first topic of the show that we usually do as the first topic. What have you played this week, Jane?
What have we played?
Yeah.
Well, I will be honest, I have been playing a lot of Factorio.
Yeah, you seem to have had a bell curve where you were enjoying it, and then you were like, I'm getting frustrated with it, and you've come back out the other side and
Oh no, now I'm frustrated with it, but just hate playing it until I win.
Okay.
I just want to see the end.
Okay, so there was a period where you were enjoying it again, where you were like, I've got all these things, and that means that I can I've got all these tips to make, and I'm enjoying it again. And are you now just I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right, and I'm gonna get through it?
I'm on my 9th replay. I'm using a lot of blueprints that I found online, and it is still an absolute nightmare trying to get enough of everything. And manage all the things. I've currently got enemies set to almost nothing.
Yeah.
They don't evolve, there's no pollution, there's no reason that they should be coming anywhere near my base. But there's still other issues all of a sudden all of my coal's run out, all of my iron is starting to run out, I can't produce enough copper, I need to upgrade all of these things.
Yeah, so Here's what it's looked like from the outside, because I initially imagined from the outside that this game was going to be sort of you can play it just however you want and you will probably see the end, and that the perfectionism was probably self-imposed, a lot of realising, well, if I'd done this differently it would be working better, I'm going to choose to restart. Whereas now it sounds more no, unless you're doing it the optimal way, you're not going to have enough resources to do.
Pretty much.
Okay.
You'll get to a point where you've bumbled through, and this is the problem I had with my first couple. I've bumbled through. I could keep going, but things are so confusing now it can never be fixed.
Where did the cogs come from?
I still don't know
where the cogs
I still don't know where the cogs came from. And every time I get a little bit further along with it,
Yeah.
it helped that I found a modular science development system. I was like, cool. I'm just gonna implement that with what I've already got, and I've designed a whole new thing, and that's really cool. But I am just going, well, I'm not getting enough of this thing, and I'm not getting enough of that thing. So I need to put this and that together, and I need to do this over here. And also I need to get loads and loads more resources. I keep having power outages. I realise that's because I've been trying to build ahead a little bit.
Yeah. It very much sounds like there are a million things that you couldn't possibly know to build for until the problems arise. It sounds like the kind of game that is impossible to do correctly the first time, and it's like, no, just do it again, do it again,
Yeah,
do it again.
You either need to keep doing it until you get it right, or you need to just make furious notes.
Yeah.
That there's not just websites with blueprints for how you can do something optimally. There's also places like, hey, do you want to know all the ratios? If you're making this, it's using this many of this, and it's taking this long.
Does the
So
game
this is
not
how much
tell you that?
It's in there. It will tell you certain things, but it's not simply laid out as it is on a lot of these ratio
You can't tell
websites.
at a glance.
Not really.
Yeah.
If you were like, I want to design a thing, it'd be like, okay, well, I have to open my menu and look at the recipe for that, and it's like, okay, these take this long in this assembling unit, and then I need these, and then I need to be feeding it this way. So I need 25 copper per second to go onto this thing to make sure that each of these things is getting enough of that it will be outputting optimally.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah. It seems... I'm going to be honest. It seems at a certain point, for you to continue playing this game, you have had to constantly have YouTube videos and tutorials and websites up, and, I know for me, my feeling at that point, I've had games where I've reached that point before and I've gone...
I'm not playing this game. This game is being played by committee.
Exactly. I'm not playing this game. Someone is telling me to press the button so that... they're playing the game via me. They've given me instructions and I'm doing exactly as I'm told without really knowing why until after I've done it. And
I kind of get the why. It's just I could sit here and fanny about and make this thing myself, or I could just go, this person has designed this optimal unit that makes all of these things I need exactly how I need them in a really simple laid out way.
Yeah.
Why would I bother doing it myself?
Why would I spend 60 hours inventing this myself?
Exactly. 60 hours in which I might suddenly run out of all the things I need and not progress to a point, or might be attacked to death.
Yeah.
Because I'd not sort of worked enough of these things out myself to make that possible.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And the game I'm playing at the moment, as I said, the enemies are almost non-existent. Yeah. And I'm still constantly going, right, okay, I want to do this thing next. Oh, I can't do that now. Now I've got no sulfuric acid.
Does this game have a firm ending? And if so, do you feel like you're close to it?
It does have a firm ending. I could not tell you if I am close to it or not.
Okay, but you are stubbornly I'm gonna finish it.
I'm gonna finish it. So basically, the point of the game is to launch a rocket into space.
Okay.
Some people play it as launch a rocket every minute. And that's their game end point. But, I don't want to do that. I just want to get one rocket off this planet.
And to go, I did the thing. I made the pipeline that eventually made the thing.
And maybe at some point in the future I will come back to it and play it again. And it will be a bit more, this is just nothing that I've done.
Well, that's the thing. Once you've gotten to that one rocket done, you're like, I now understand the chain of events.
Yeah.
And then maybe it'll be a bit, be a bit freer once you know what your end state is.
It might be interesting once I've got to the end to go, I will play through on normal. I won't, I'm not going to adjust any of the random settings for startup. I'm just going to play it as it is, intended as default.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just I just want to see the end.
Yeah, you are invested in this obsessive looping of mechanics.
Pretty much.
A little bit, yeah.
I do like the fact that I've now unlocked blueprints.
Yes.
So that I can go, I designed this thing. I will save that for any future game I play.
Yes, you're not having to rebuild the things you like component by component from scratch. You can go, I invented this. Next game, I can just have that invention again.
Yep.
Okay, that does sound needed.
It's almost like a roguelite.
Hmm.
It's like, I have developed all these things. I have unlocked blueprints. I have created my own blueprints. I'm using other people's blueprints.
Yeah.
I am slowly understanding more and more of the game.
Yeah.
And making a little bit more progress every time I restart.
Yeah, sort of. You're playing it like a game that's meant to be played in short runs, but they're quite long runs.
So long.
Yeah, those games that are played in runs work because they're typically fairly short.
The fact that, like, most people's, like, A Guide to Factorio, Let's Plays are 100 episodes long.
Well. Well, we played something less mentally intensive this week together.
We did.
Should we talk about we played through some Twilight Princess HD?
We hit the Twiglet.
Yeah, we finally got my Wii U set up like years after moving here because I initially was missing a gamepad charging cable and then something else was wrong, I can't remember what. We eventually got the thing up and running.
Mm-hmm.
And we done played some of that Zelda where you become a wolf.
Oh, woo.
Ooh woo. It's been a while since I've played Twilight Princess. That game has some weird NPCs, huh? some considering.
Are we talking about Uku?
I mean, human-faced titty chicken is quite an odd concept for an NPC.
What this game needs is human-faced titty chickens.
Human-faced titty chicken that just hides in a pot and it's like, oh, hello, you broke me out.
Hi.
I'm a human-faced titty chicken. Hi.
I can fast travel you out into the world.
Yeah, there is angry baby that, like, very stoically talks at you about how terribly you're doing and then opens a shop later.
Mallow looks so grumpy.
Yeah, there's the clown that opens that has, like, a cannon that he fires you into the air, and that's his whole thing, is like, hey, I own a cannon. People pay me to fire them into the sky.
Want me to shoot you somewhere for 10 rupees?
Yeah! It's... I like Twilight Princess. I very much enjoy it. It's very clear that, like, it was trying very hard to be, here's the bigger Ocarina of Time because people grumbled about Wind Waker.
And more mature, I think people wanted.
Yeah.
Because they'd seen that tech demo and wouldn't, like, I don't link story.
Yeah. It's, what if we did another Zelda that was like, we're gonna make a lot of the plot elements a bit grimdark and everything's a bit miserable and the world's having a bad time. I like the visual look of it.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I like the general art style of it. I like the character designs. I like how pretty Link is.
Yep. I very much enjoy the whole thing with the skeletal knight that teaches you new moves.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really cool way to, in a game that doesn't have like a level up system, to still make it feel like your character is progressing in their combat abilities as they go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is your first time playing the game in a while and playing on the Wii U as well.
First time I played in a while. First time I played on Wii U. First time I've touched any of the HD remasters.
Tell us about your experience. How you...
It's very pretty.
It is very pretty.
I'm getting used to a Wii U controller.
It's lighter than you'd expect, right?
Yeah, and I think you need to for like long play sessions.
Yeah, it's almost got the feel of like a Fisher-Price kids. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
right?
it's like the leapfrog Nintendo.
Yeah, it feels like the edutainment learning game controller that you'd give like a 6-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
I like the gamepad. I find it really comfortable.
Yeah, it's good. You can see how they got from like the Wii to the Switch.
Oh yeah, no, it 100%. It's, what if you had a console that you could play on your TV, but if someone wanted to use the TV, you could instantly be playing in a handheld instead. And like the core idea is there. It's basically, can you play 7 foot away from your TV versus on the bus? And it's not that fundamentally different an idea.
Not really. No.
It is definitely the step they needed to take to get to the Switch.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I continue to very much enjoy Twilight Princess.
Sure.
I like Midna's energy as
Yes. She's very dumb.
yeah, she's tiny, but she is real dom energy. She's constantly like, "Oh, are you going to be a good, well-behaved little wolf there, are you?"
I'm going to ride you around.
Yeah, she really got that dom energy.
But she looks like a tiny imp until the
Yeah.
end, and then she's like definitely got good dom energy there.
Yes, I appreciate as well that the HD version has drastically toned down the number of glowing grapes you need to collect from the Twilight Realms.
I really can't tell the difference, I'll be honest.
Maybe I'm imagining things, but I'm pretty sure there were a lot more originally. Like, I've played Twilight Princess a lot of times, and I feel like it's a lot fewer to find.
Yeah, I can't tell. But
No.
yeah, I think it's beautiful. It's still looking beautiful.
It upscales to HD a lot better than I would have expected. Like, obviously, Wind Waker makes sense. That goes to HD really nicely because it's self-shaded, and that always looks nice. But, like, that game has aged remarkably well.
Again, it's
HD
almost
form.
cartoony style, so
Yeah, it's just enough, like, lack of detail on the human faces that the faces upscale well, and just enough detail in the outfits that they still pop.
Mhm.
It's a nice looking game.
Yeah, I mean the outfits are incredible, especially like Link's, like all the stitching on the hat and stuff.
Yep. You get to play it the GameCube way round, as opposed to right-handed Link from the... Like, I love the Wii version, but
Link's a lefty.
Link is a lefty. And I like that you still have the motion control where you can sort of gyro aim with the controller.
Yeah, I keep trying to do both at the same time and it doesn't really work.
No, you've got to use the stick for like the larger movements and then the
And
gyro for like the micro movements. Yeah, I'm having a good time replaying that.
Yeah, same.
We did one very long sitting and got basically we were off to go get the Master Sword, so yeah, we'll give it another weekend. We'll probably have finished it, and then we'll move on to the other like 6 Wii U games that are of any worth playing.
You mean the other 5? Because you only got 6 and you said they were the 6 games.
Yeah, basically. There's New Super Mario, the one where Mario's a cat that climbs up trees, is the only one I didn't pick up because it's probably coming to Switch this year, it sounds like. But otherwise we got like the 6 Wii U games that are like worth playing still that aren't on other consoles.
So we've got Zombie U?
Yeah, we've got Zombie U.
Nintendo World?
Yeah, Nintendo Land. We've got Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Star Fox Zero. That's not on the Switch yet.
I've never played it.
It's got a very different control scheme. I don't know if it's necessarily good, but it's fascinating.
Okay.
It's worth playing to be like... It's another example of Nintendo clearly going out of their way to try and go, like, here's us imagining how we could make the most of this console to do something original.
I think the last time I tried to play a Star Fox was whatever the 3DS one was.
Oh, yes, Star Fox 3DS? Was it just called that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I've never played Adventures on the Cube.
Yeah. Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh, yes.
That was the other one that's not yet ported to Switch.
Mm.
But like that's basically all the Wii U original Nintendo exclusive games that aren't yet on Switch that are sort of worth having a look at. Yeah. What about you? Have you played anything else this week?
Well, we played some things together. We played some more Pandemic Legacy Season 2.
Yes, we did January, February, March and April.
Yes. And to do March twice.
Yes, we finally
lost a game.
We finally lost a game of Pandemic Legacy. We got all the way through Season 1 and a couple of months into Season 2 with no losses.
Yep.
I was kind of happy almost to see a loss. I was like, there we go. Okay, it has gotten more difficult.
It has.
It's going to mean that in future games, failure is going to feel more on the table, I think.
I mean, I really thought that we would due a loss.
Yes.
I could feel it coming. It's like, we've run out of funding. There is so much to do right now.
Yeah.
And we've got so little food.
That's the thing. Like, those first couple of months of Season 2 of Pandemic Legacy give you a lot of places to be at once, very few ways to get from place to place, like, other than taking the long route. lots of permanent problems that you can't deal with, lots of objectives to expand, and no real signalling of which ones are the important ones, or even if some are more important than others. There's a lot of problems to keep on top of, and those first couple of months really dwindle your resources to take care of those problems. So, like, yeah, once we didn't have the ability to get rid of two plague cubes off the board, we were really having a rough time.
Yeah, obviously without the funding, there was that. I mean, there was always a risk those cards weren't going to come up.
Yeah.
But now it's a case of we've got, like, a lot more options. But that in turn has created this whole thing of, depending on how many cities you've got, you could have up to 10 epidemics now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a lot of city cards. That's a lot of epidemics.
I will say, I'm feeling more confident now that we've made it through April.
Yeah.
In that we made choices about investigating certain things that really paid off for us.
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple of really, really, really important abilities that we'd sort of in the first few games gone, oh, that's something that, this game doesn't have, and it would be really useful to have, and we managed to find where some of those abilities were located. The narrative's unfolding really interestingly.
Yeah.
You did great at following coordinates and working out where shit was on the map.
It's like, I wonder if these coordinates are actually accurate. I suspect these are accurate.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying how different this version of the game is, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because it's got, like, all of the same basic beats to it, but it feels so different. And essentially all it is backwards Pandemic.
Yeah, it's at its core, it's still flip over 3 cards per turn, those places will get disease, will reach them, travel around the board and deal with making sure the disease doesn't get bad. You draw 2 cards if one's an epidemic, things go bad, otherwise you've got them to work with. It's the same core game.
Yeah.
It's just pieces being taken off the board rather than put on the board.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's backwards Pandemic.
Really
well done.
The unveiling the map the more you play, genius.
Yeah.
Like, those first couple of games I was like, it feels really weird that it's such a small board, and I'm like, oh god, I long for the days where we had such a small board to manage.
There's so much to do.
Yeah, and I very much get the feeling we can't just go, it's fine, we'll just play the whole game in the tiny area, it'll be fine. I feel like that would come to bite us months from now.
Well, I mean, it has helped that, like, reconning new areas has been, like, a whole way of getting one of the objectives completed each month.
Yes.
It's like, okay, we'll keep exploring.
We'll keep exploring because we'll probably in the long run be glad we did. Pandemic Legacy is really good.
It really is.
Yeah, it's going to be painful when we finish Season 2 and have to wait for Season 3.
Well, by that time, hopefully, all of my Kickstarter games will have finally turned up.
Oh, so many It's just going to be Saturday morning board games for the rest of the year. That's what's going to keep us through.
It's going to have to be, because,
Yeah.
There's Streets of Steel, which was due, like, over a year ago. And they're like, we're really sorry, we've had some problems, but it's in production, and we've heard back from our warehouse and stuff, and it'll be shipping soon, and we're just double-checking everyone's addresses are still correct, because we're actually shipping now. It's like, cool, when's that out? August.
Yeah.
So I think there's, like, 4 Kickstarter board games coming in between, like, August and September.
The Adventure Zone game is coming in August.
There's that. There's like a new Tiny Epic game that just got on Kickstarter. Tiny Epic Pirates.
Oh, we're gonna have so many board games to do.
So many board games.
Heck. So yes, Pandemic Legacy, good.
Season 2 continues to be good. Season 3 soon, please.
Yay.
What about you? Have you played anything else?
Very quickly, I finished my every now and then I do this replaying of Beyond Good and Evil. I foolishly played the PC version because that was the easiest one to stream, or so I thought. Turns out, no. That game doesn't... The game is great still, but the PC port is absolute horse shit. Don't play it on PC. Get the 360 or the PS3 version, get the GameCube version and play it through your Wii or your Wii U. do anything other than play the goddamn PC version.
Mm-hmm.
That said, still a charming game. It does a really good job of sort of funneling you through the narrative, but giving you enough sort of non-linear space to feel like you're exploring. I love the photography mechanics in there. I still think the story and the music score are fantastic. It looks really good still. It's held up visually really nicely. Even if it is a little depressing, like, aha, it's a story in which the journalist shows some photos of the government doing something bad and instantly everyone turns on them and the world is okay and everyone rises up. Be nice if that was accurate.
A little bit of a concern there.
Yeah. And lastly, the ending of that game still is crying for a sequel, and I'm not talking about the Beyond Good and Evil 2 they're actually making. Fucking...
No, thank you.
Ugh. Did you play anything else this week?
Yeah, that's everything I played. It's been a very Factorio-heavy week.
We did do a little bit of Magic the Gathering.
Oh, yeah.
We did.
I'd almost forgotten.
We made some decks from, what's the new expansion?
Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about the new mechanics this set had?
Well, officially, it was supposed to come out in April.
Yeah.
It had a release date, I think it was like April 25th or something. It's like, cool, everyone's ready for that. And then it came out on Arena, the online version.
Yeah.
And then they had the pre-release kits released last Friday.
Yeah.
So they were very kindly delivered by our local game store.
Yeah, dropped on the doorstep and run away.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so the new thing with this one is mutations. Yeah, so you can either summon a creature as normal, or you can summon it as a mutation for a different, like, summoning price. And it will add abilities to another creature.
Yeah, so basically whether you put it on top of or underneath a creature will be whether it's you're adding all of the things that already exist on the table to this creature, or if you're adding like one aspect of this creature, like say Death Touch or Lifelink,
to
or
the
something
pile
like that,
of
the pile of things for whatever the one on top is.
Yeah, it's an interesting mechanic, and it's definitely strengthened by the fact that a lot of these creatures not only add an ability, but then if you mutate them, well, the first time you mutate them, and if you mutate them again, they kick off an ability that encourages you to like mutate to keep getting this cool ability.
It's a great system, but if you start mutating a character, that's your only character out or creature that's out on the board, and it dies to removal, you've got fucking nothing.
Yeah, so you really want to get like... I had some creatures in the deck that I built out of my boosters that had hexproof, and I really feel like if you were gonna build a deck around this mechanic, you probably want to start with your base being a creature with hexproof, and then mutate upon that, so that like you at least have one shot of, okay, this thing is strong and it's not going to get killed by that. I've got time to mutate it. But yeah, you are obviously sacrificing monsters on the board for stats.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, putting those monsters out on the board is so expensive. Like, most of them are CMC 4 or 5 at least. Converted mana cost of 4 or 5 at least. So, like, you going, like, oh, yeah, for 3, I can just have this as a boost to that creature and it'll be much better.
Yeah.
Which is fine if it doesn't immediately die to removal.
Yeah.
And you were the only one with any removal spells.
Yes. It's an interesting mechanic. There was also a lot of reliance on, like, there was a lot of cards that worked around cycling. Cycling seemed to be a really big thing they were encouraging you to do in this. There was a lot of encouragement to have spell-heavy decks, like non-creature spells. And there were a lot of big heavy-hitting creatures that were, like, 3 mana type.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seemed to be very much focused on trying to get people to play, like, 3-colour decks.
Yeah. And
then also there was the companion creatures.
Yes.
Which were like, if you build your deck in this way, you can have this as a thing that you summon from your sideboard.
Yeah, so the idea, like, for one of the examples, it was, I think, you only get to have 40... Well, you only have 40 cards in your starting deck rather than 60. And you can only have creatures of a CNC that's... Yours had one that was even, I think, and mine was only...
Was odd.
Yeah, mine was only odd CNC creatures. So you've got to, like, really build your deck around this thing, but it sits to the side of the board, like, rather than having to be drawn into your hand. And if you've got the CNC, you can bring it out.
If you've got the mana,
yeah, if you've got the mana, sorry, yes. If you've got the mana, you can bring it out. It reminded me a lot of... There was a season of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime that... The whole conceit behind it was that players would pick a card from their deck that's like, hey, this is like my card that represents me, and I put it to one side, and at any point I can bring it into the game, but if it gets destroyed, I lose the game. It was are you about to lose? Bring this thing in and try and claw yourself back a win, but like it's a last-ditch effort. It reminded me kind of tonally of that. Sorry.
I mean, Magic has Commander, which is a sort of this is my commander and they do the thing, but rather than like if they die, that's it.
Yeah.
They can just keep coming back, but for slightly more expensive costs.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Never put that into the card game itself, but I was reminded of it with that. One thing I find interesting is Magic, maybe I'm wrong, but reading those cards, it seemed to imply that only having a 40-card deck would be to your detriment. Like, this was a sacrifice you were making to get to use this thing. Whereas, I mean, maybe I just don't know enough about Magic, but again, from a Yu-Gi-Oh! Background, getting to have 20 fewer cards in your deck is a godsend. It's a blessing. It makes it infinitely easier to get to the things that kick off your combos. Like, if you have a set thing you want this deck to do, and like the combo that is the really good combo it does, you can cut out so much that isn't the one combo you want to do. And like, I would be really interested to try and build a 40-card deck around one of those. I might sit and try and do it some weekend, because that seems really interesting to me. Yeah, Magic! I think that's everything we've played this week.
I think you might be right.
Well then.
Time for this. Thank you for joining me, everyone. It's lovely to see so many of you here.
Yes.
Well done. So, we are brainstorming for new ideas, and the main subject we're working on this week will be comfort food.
Oh, yes, that makes sense. Everyone's at home looking for, food that will fill the void, as it were.
Exactly. Food that is comforting, it's hearty, it's bringing them joy, but also giving them a little bit of a hug.
Okay, so where do you start? What do you suggest? Have you got any suggestions?
Well, we've been talking to our bakery section, and I thought maybe, something comfortable, moist, but also relaxing, like a cake sofa.
Oh, wonderful. You can sit down and have a nice lie down and then
eat a cup of tea.
Yes, and then eat the sofa. Yes.
Indeed, absolutely,
wonderful.
Absolutely. And probably enough to feed a few people at least. A couple of slices, certainly.
Wonderful.
Have a bit of cushion.
Yes, pass everyone the big sofa cushions.
Indeed. So what, do we have any other suggestions?
I had this idea. So, you know how the world is full of all sorts of stressful noises and everything's a bit overwhelming. What if you could have a soothing sandwich that, as you ate it, produced gentle whale noise?
Oh, lovely. So it's sort of...
Exactly, just to drown out the sounds of, your neighbours' children shouting while you're trying to have a meeting in the middle of the day working from home. Just soothing sandwich.
And does it soothe all the way down, or is it just...
all the way down.
Oh, lovely.
You can hear the whale song through its entire journey.
That's delightful. Oh, I've just had back from R&D. We've got a wonderful, warm, huggable friend who can also be a delicious stew.
A friend who can be stew?
Yes. So basically, they were using, like the Tide Pods. It's got sort of a membrane, but it's one of those, but it's plant-based, you see.
Oh, yes.
So it looks like a sort of membrane, but you warm it up, and the whole thing melts into a delicious warm stew. But up until then, you can hug them. They're very warm, and there's a very comforting weight to the stew.
Oh, lovely! I've got another one on the docket list. So maybe you can't go out and see your mental health advocate right now. You can't go see your therapist or counsellor. What you can do is make yourself some nice, calming soup.
Oh.
What if your soup could serve that purpose?
sort of soup that would, listen to what your
Yes.
issues were.
That you can sort of stir all of your concerns and worries into and sort of stir them away. It's therapist soup.
I love it.
I think we should make sure we do put on the label, though, that no therapists were hurt in the making of the soup.
Lastly, we've, back to the bakery, you see. How about just a lovely grandma who's made of gingerbread?
That sounds like the most delightful thing I could imagine.
She's warm, she's got a lovely, wholesome smell to her, she's good for cuddles, and soft and chewy.
I mean, everything you want in a grandma.
Absolutely.
I think this has been a rather productive meeting.
I think so too.
Goodness, I think we're going to save the world with all this.
I think so. Looking forward to the next quarter. I've gathered you all here. I'm hoping that we can have this meeting. We've had a busy week, making sure the barricades are secure.
Trying to keep out the literal zombies 6 feet that way beyond the wall. It's been a long week.
Yeah, we've had to we've got some new boards up, so we've been boarding up the windows.
Yeah, we've got water to last a few days.
Yeah, I think we're all right for a while at least.
Yes.
So I was thinking, since we are the last 4 survivors, that maybe we should look at our situation. And it came to my attention that no one in the group has been bitten for at least a week.
I mean, that is fantastic news.
Yeah.
That does mean that our defences are working. The steps we've taken to keep ourselves safe seem to be keeping us safe.
Absolutely. I think all the things we've done, we've stayed in here, we've stayed secure. I think we've done everything the best possible way we could.
I have taken that into consideration. I've looked at our food situation. I've looked at our ammo situation. I've looked at everyone around this particular campfire, and I'm thinking maybe it is time to ease the lockdown.
Wait, what?
Well, as I said, it's been a week since anyone was bitten.
Yeah, but we still have no cure for this. This isn't going to end anytime soon. And the you can hear the zombies right out there. They're just on the other side of that wall.
Well, yes, I mean, but nobody's been bitten. Nobody.
Yes, because we've all stayed inside safe away from the zombies.
Exactly. So now is the time to ease the lockdown.
No, we should really be staying inside until someone comes to help, or we have a vaccine, or we have a viable plan of how we're going to leave in a safe manner, because right now the safest thing to do is to stay here.
No, I'm sure. I think the best thing to do is we just get out and we'll be able to get more food in. We'll be able to help the community more if we ease the lockdown and we spend more time outside.
We have enough. We have enough to survive for a while. We don't need to do this yet.
Yeah, but what if we had more?
I mean, if you all want to go break the lockdown, fine by me, but at least give me time to barricade myself into the bedroom before then with the current food supply.
Oh no, I'm not feeling too well.
See, that's the problem. Unsymptomatic carrier there.
So, what have you put in your eyes at the She-Ra?
Yeah, we watched She-Ra. We're not going to spoil any of the things that happen in it, but now that this is the final season of She-Ra, season 5, that's a real good show. Stuck the landing, 5 really solid seasons, no wasted time, really. Really got to it that last season. It fucking got moving.
Yeah, it got moving. It was really well paced. The action was really interesting. The character interactions were really cool. The main conceit about what was going on was really interesting. And it's gay as fuck.
Yeah. I without specifics, it's gay as fuck.
Yes.
And not the we're gonna sort of nudge wink wink kind. No, it's actually gay as fuck.
Well, I mean, we had Bo's parents in the previous season.
Yeah, Bo's pair of dads.
There's the lesbian couple as well.
Yes. Natasha and I forget the other.
I forget
his name
as well, but yes,
Spinnerella.
Spinnerella.
Yes.
There are very specifically very explicitly gay characters. In
Yeah,
those, and I like that.
The show ain't queer baiting, and that's always a relief. But
yeah, because representation is important.
Yeah, I'm just so glad that all of the character arcs were really satisfying. They managed to do the really difficult thing, which is, hey, we're going to take characters and try and turn them around a bit, and they did it in a way that didn't feel forced.
Mm-hmm.
There felt like there were suitable consequences, and it built up to a really nice endgame. She-Ra's real good.
It's real good. Also, haircuts happened.
Oh, those haircuts.
That's all I can say about that. Watch it, it's really good.
Yeah, can't recommend it enough.
No.
DreamWorks fucking knocked it out the park.
Yes, more of this, please.
Yeah, more of this.
I am excited to see what they get to do next.
Yeah, gosh. Whoever... We need that creative team and, like, Rebecca Sugar work together, create the gayest thing.
Noelle Stevenson and Rebecca Sugar.
Make it gay.
And what about... Have you watched anything else?
We've continued watching Voyager.
Yeah, we have. So we're about midway season 3 now, and we're getting into Borg territory.
Yes. So we had like one isolated episode where a Borg was found. It's like, oh, maybe this won't be a thing for a while. No, the Borg are full on a thing. Hello, we are the Collect. I like the episode we watched before dinner tonight, which was very much about the Borg being sort of humanized. Well, sympathised towards. There was an empathy towards the plight of a particular group of Borg. Or ex-Borg, Borg-esque.
Borg adjacent.
Yeah. So, for anyone who's not a Star Trek person, the deal with the Borg is that they are a collective hive mind that exists, and
They assimilate people.
Yes, people don't generally choose to become part of the Borg. The Borg stick some metal into you and you are one of us now.
Nanobots.
And they have big cubes that they float around space in, and they are very powerful and
Not
scary.
just cubes, they've also got spheres.
They do have spheres, but
And there's weird things with the sticky outfits.
generally, if you think of a Borg ship, it's the cube. But it was quite nice this episode of like, hey, here's some Borg that aren't connected to the other Borg. What's their whole deal? What's their little society going on like?
Also, what happened to that Borg ship? It looked like it was attacked.
Da, da, da.
Whomst could attack the Borg?
I wonder. Yeah. So, shit continues to constantly be happening in Voyager. Voyager is not a... Like, Deep Space Nine had some silly, light-hearted side story episodes. This is just like, no, go. New species, new events, new things. Keep driving the plot forward.
New.
New indeed.
I hope you've got enough effects budget and costume budget.
Yeah.
Because we're going to need a lot of props.
I was also pleasantly surprised by that one we watched. The episode about the mating ritual episode.
With the Ponfar.
Yes, the Ponfar, which is the Vulcan. The Vulcan,
Yes.
Every 7 years they get real fucking horny.
Mm-hmm.
I was pleasantly surprised at some of the writing in that episode.
Only some of it.
Some of it. There was a point in the middle where I was like,
Did Berman just walk in and they just... Yes, Rick, we're doing... Yeah, we're making it hornier. Yep, there will be less clothes.
yeah. But like, the first half of that episode where it was about like, hey... Someone who is in an altered state of consciousness cannot consent, and it's really important that we sort of establish that is not informed consent. That's good. Well done, Star Trek. Even if you did make it get a bit, now they have to fuck or they're gonna die by the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other Voyager thoughts?
I like Voyager, and I'm very excited to see, especially the season finale of this season.
I'm gonna cling to you, I'm sure. I'm dreading whatever's coming, and I will cling to you and be like, no.
It's really cool.
I'm sure it will be really cool, and oh no, I will have so many feelings of worry for everyone.
Okay, and then we'll be nearly halfway through the season. And then we'll be that much closer to like the finale, because the finale of Voyager is fucking incredible.
Yeah, gosh. How are we already halfway through Voyager?
I'm not quite. We're at about like halfway through season 3.
Yeah, but like, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We are ploughing through Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness.
Such a good show.
Yeah. I think that's everything I've watched. only other very quick thing to throw in, doesn't seem like Nintendo's doing Nintendo Directs for a while, so they're just throwing up trailers for games that are out real fucking soon. There's that trailer for Paper Mario and the origami. Okami. I wrote about Okami today, that's why. The Origami King. It's fucking creepy. Will you join us?
Fold with us, Mario.
Be folded with us. Join us.
I like the idea of throwing origami into Mario.
Yeah.
Paper Mario. That seems really cool.
That game's trailer looks gorgeous. I'm curious about like the combat mechanics and things, because that's always the sticking point in Paper Mario games. But
oh, not stickers, please, not stickers
no,
again.
well, that's it. Hopefully it's more like Thousand Year Door and less sticker style. And we've not seen enough to really know which way that's going. But visually it looks stunning, and it's out in like June. It's only like 2 months away. Yeah, Nintendo apparently going to be shadow dropping some games over the next few.
That's good, because it's like
months.
That feels like the first new game that's been
announced in a while. Yeah, well, that's the thing. This whole situation has kind of thrown everyone's announcement strategy.
I mean, it feels
for a
like
while.
that could have been announced some time ago.
It does. Here's the thing. My 100% suspicion is there was meant to be a Nintendo Direct by now that was going to be the, hey, this is the year of Mario games, here's all the fucking Mario games. And time passed and Nintendo went, they did this in a public statement. They were like, hey, hands up, we don't have the workforce right now to put together a proper Nintendo Direct, and we're working out how to proceed forward. And it feels like the time that Nintendo Direct was meant to be has passed, and they've gone, okay, well, we do have this trailer ready, we'll put that one out, I guess. Like, the game's ready, we'll put the trailer out. I think it's going to be a weird few months of just, here's a trailer dropping. But, hooray, things to play. Well, I think that's everything we've watched then.
I think you might be right.
Well then.
Time for this.
Time for this.
Lair, we've got a new sponsor!
Who's our new sponsor?
Well, do you want access to one of the biggest shops on the entire planet?
I mean, that does sound convenient.
A huge selection of options, from food to clothing to board games to video games.
I mean, those are
to
all the
peripherals to that cable you need.
I mean, considering I can't leave the house right now and all of the specialty shops are shut, this sounds like everything I need.
Well, you will be amazed to find out what you own when you sign up for Amazon.
Amazon?
Yeah, you can own the things.
Ah, I see. I can own the things.
Yes.
I'll be amazed by that.
You'll be amazed by how quickly they arrive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Is this
the-
like next day delivery on
Next
everything?
day delivery. Sometimes same day delivery.
Same day delivery.
Same day delivery.
How do they do this magical service that no one else is providing?
Let's see.
We'll have a scroll through the ad copy.
Oh.
Oh.
Their staff are treated really badly. They're not allowed to pee.
No pee breaks.
No, they've all been forced to work during the coronavirus, and
Oh.
now they're getting t-shirts. Really patronising t-shirts.
No, they haven't like automated like robots to do the,
They have like
Work
these
or-
robot things that bring you like a stack of stuff,
but not
but
that
you
like.
have to scan it and wrap it and put it in a box.
Oh
Yeah, I'm not taking their money. They can fuck off.
no. Use that service to find out the things that you wish to purchase, and then Google the product name and find somewhere else that sells it.
Yeah. Beth Bezos gets fucked.
Yeah.
That's Amazon. You'll be amazed you own it.
Don't.
Don't do it.
Like, this is usually the bit where we give you, like, a discount code, but we're not even going to tell you what the discount code is. Just don't.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Inside the boardroom of Electronic Active Softworks.
Hi. So, I've been getting more feedback from the people who play the games.
What, the Q&A?
No, the corporate, the people who pay us the money.
Oh, the people that buy the Q&A.
People who buy the Q&A,
Nice,
yes, who
nice.
buy the unfinished pieces of
Yeah.
slowly called games.
Yeah.
So, they're still unhappy about the whole microtransactions in games thing. They don't like to buy a game that says it's got microtransactions.
But
on
I
the
love
box.
microtransactions.
I know, so do I. They make us so much money.
Right?
Like, some of the licensing boards have even gone around to putting logos on the box that says, has microtransactions, and it gets printed on the box and everything. So, I've been thinking of strategies of how we can continue to sell our games without having to put a logo that says there's a microtransaction on the box.
Yeah.
So, I've been thinking, what if we advertise our games as containing no loot boxes at launch?
Right.
No microtransactions at launch.
Right.
Because here's the thing. First of all, we're not saying we're going to put them in there. Just, when this game comes out, they won't be in there. There's not in there when the game comes out.
We can confirm at launch, no microtransactions.
Exactly. It's a truthful statement that we cannot be, proven to have been lying on because,
at launch.
for at least an hour or so of the game being live, we'll wait until it's live in all regions for an hour, and then who knows what will happen. We know what will happen. We'll put loot boxes in. But, here's the thing. The other benefit to this is, as long as the version that we put on the disc, the launch version, doesn't have microtransactions, we don't have to put the microtransaction sticker on it.
That's what that day one patch is for.
Exactly.
You are a fucking genius.
I know.
So, what have you put in your ears?
My ears?
Your ears.
I put a couple of new songs in my ears this week.
Ooh.
I listened to a song called Art School Wannabe by Sorority Noise. It's a sort of light synth... It's a track that goes back and forth between sort of light synth, kind of popish, and sort of like a medium-heavy rock track. About trying to work out who you are after you come out of depression.
Okay.
Like that whole, hey, I finally worked on myself and I'm feeling more myself. Oh no.
What is that?
Who am I now that depression is not hanging over me? It's been so long. And that sort of weird period of trying to relearn who you are. Really interesting track. It talks a lot about the scary side of building yourself up from scratch after depression having been a thing for a long time. What about you? What have you listened to?
I've only listened to one thing, so we'll do yours first.
I'll get through all my songs then. I will give a content warning. Skip ahead a minute maybe if suicide is a content warning thing for you. I listened to a track called Congratulations You Survived Your Suicide by Sycamore Smith. It's one man and a guitar. Very relatable to me as someone who has gone through suicide attempts. A track singing about the weird sort of contradictory feelings that you go through after surviving a suicide attempt. That sort of I'm glad to be alive, but I failed.
I feel like a failure even more now.
I failed to do the thing that I was trying to do, and I'm still here somehow, and there are people who are worse off than me but didn't try to do this thing, and that knowledge that might come up again in your life and you're going to have to deal with it. The person who tried to kill me is still around and might strike again. It's just a track about trying to unpack those weird feelings, and it was kind of cathartic to listen to, and I know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it was nice to hear someone else verbalize that, weird contradictory set of survivor guilty feelings that, you deal with a bit. And the last one I listened to this week was a track called Overbite by Sincere Engineer. It's a sort of femme light punk track about not having it in you to commit to your dreams and sort of slowly growing apathy and pushing yourself to not let go of that spark about the thing that you once cared about. The idea that if you pick something and go, I want to do this, it's not forever gonna have that sort of excitement of this is a new interest I'm really excited about. There will be a point where apathy will start to grow a little bit, and it's the work period comes, and it's about pushing through until you find the spark again, not abandoning the things that you once loved to do that you will love to do again. So some cool tracks I listened to this week. What about you? What did you listen to?
I listened to The gun that I have in my right hand is loaded.
Oh,
Have you heard of this?
That's a hell of a track. I don't know if I've heard it, but that's a hell of a name.
So it's... I don't know the history of it, but it is basically everything not to do in an audio drama. Like, do you want background noise that is too loud so that you struggle to hear what the main characters are saying? Do you want plot points that are just sort of casually mentioned at some point?
Okay.
Do you want, like, too much just random chatter? Like, yes, that is perhaps the way people speak naturally, but that does not make a good audio drama.
Right.
Like, just too much Foley. Like, would you like a drink? Yes, I would like a drink, thank you very much. Unscrews drink, pours drink, stirs or something. There you go, darling. I think I will also have a drink. Yes, okay, I'll have a whiskey. You'll have a whiskey. Yes, I think I'll have a whiskey on this day. Unscrews drink, pours drink.
Here's the thing. I imagine if you have a visual imagination, that probably really helps to get you into picturing the scene unfolding as it really would. Not so much if you're a aphantasic audio drama listener.
It's the worst as an aphantasiac, but yeah, it's really interesting from a point of, you're right, I shouldn't do any of these things if I'm ever doing audio drama. It was brought up on one of the Magnus Archives, like, between episodes Q&As.
Yeah.
As a... Look, why will we never hear kissing on the Magnus Archives? Because it's bad audio.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably the time they launched into the gun that I have in my right hand is loaded.
Yeah.
And it is like that sort of like extraneous like commenting on things.
Yeah, but as I understand it, like, that's the point of it. It's deliberately trying to show you, like, we're going to make an audio drama that does all the things you're not supposed to, so you can hear and understand why you should never do them. As the title, it's like, you should never have a character go, the gun in my right hand is loaded.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's an accurate descriptor that tells the listener information they need to know, but it's clunky as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, you could pretty much resolve that with click.
Yeah. I've been meaning to listen to it because it sounds like a fascinating exercise to explore.
It really is. It's quite fascinating, and it's all done in very sort of like very, very British. Very, very heavily. There it is. It's literally right there. As one of your listed options. Yes. It's a spoof on how not to write a piece.
Right. That sounds worth giving a curious listen.
Wow, from 1991, I did not know.
That is older than I was aware.
It's done in a very 1920s style, so
yeah.
It's certainly worth a listen if you do things like audio, any like real audio work.
Yeah.
And I suppose some of the stuff we do for Quirps, some of the skits.
Yeah.
Last week's sponsor. Me sitting there in the edit going, I'm just going to add a little bit of Foley to this. Oh god, 2 hours later, why?
Yeah. Attempting to create the sound of the void is always a time-consuming challenge.
If you listen to
it. Yeah, if you want to get the void right, you got to work on the void.
The void right.
There is no button in Audacity that's like, add the void.
Oh, and if anyone's curious about what the sound effects were, it's a slowed down me going, you're very good, it's all very positive. And then I think the whispering voice is just me going, listen, you're very, you should listen to the thing. I'm just suggesting that you listen to the thing. This is the thing that I'm whispering about. And then just played backwards.
Oh, it's quite a piece of work you did.
Yeah, so if anyone was concerned about satanic messages, no, it's all very positive or just silly.
Oh. Is that everything we've listened to?
Everything you listen to.
Right, so looking through CVs here.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of archaeologists to look through.
Yes, we've really got to find the ones that are going to do the job right.
Absolutely.
We've got that very important dig coming up.
Yes, very important dig. This one, Portland Smythe, has been in the field for absolutely years. Incredible with a brush, apparently.
Yeah.
He recently excavated some pottery in the British Midlands. Some Iron Age tools.
Oh,
as
wonderful!
well.
I heard they were in fantastic condition.
Fantastic condition, and he excavated them absolutely delicately. Not really what we're looking for.
No, it's really not sounding right to me.
We've got Jones. Oh, another paintbrusher.
Ugh.
Yes. Ellison, paintbrush. Gosh, Croft. Croft, yeah, bursts into tombs, guns blazing, smashing things, and is very willing to steal a priceless artifact.
Oh, that's the one for us.
That's the one for the British Tourist Board.
I'm upset. I'm sure I'm not alone in this. No. We seagulls. The sunny weather's out. Oh, it's usually prime time for us to get so many chips. So many chips. Dropped waffles. Ice cream cones. But there's none. There's none. Ice cream. Where's chips? Where's ice creams? Where's chips? There's no chips. No chips. We need to get the chips back. Yeah. So plans. We could swarm people's homes, steal the chips from the houses. Right. Everyone, there's so many of us. If we fly in the window, they can't stop us. Summer, they've all got the windows open. Exactly, yeah. Windows open. Summer. Or circle the farms. Yeah. There's potatoes. Potatoes make chips from potatoes. Yeah. Attack the farmers, take the potatoes. Take the potatoes, chips, potatoes. Or throw rocks at the fish and chip shop. We break into the fish and chip shops, make our own chips. Let me know when to stop us. Chips! Chips! Chips!
Questions, time for questions.
What's the questions?
Lucy asks, what's your favourite cryptozoological creature?
Oh, I like Mothman.
Mothman!
Mainly because of the statue they have of Mothman with the really, really, great arse. Are you aware of this statue? I can't remember what town in America it is that's the place where all the Mothman sightings happen. In their town square, they have a huge, 11-foot tall statue of Mothman, and it just has the most rock solid, tight arse cheeks. They did not need to give this muscular toned arse to Mothman, but my god, the Mothman statue has a good ass.
Well, I mean, that's very on brand for you.
Yeah. I will. While you were answering, I will look up a picture of the Mothman ass just so that you can see.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with the arseless and very obvious for me as Cicalia. I like a Cicalia. They're hot, but for different reasons. Imagine tentacles, but consenting.
Yeah. So that's
No, it is not.
It was. There's Mothman's ass.
Wow. Those are quite the buns of steel.
Yeah, they did not need to give Mothman that ass, but they did.
That ass.
Yeah, just Google Mothman ass, you'll find it. That's what I did.
Caladri asks, which princess's power from She-Ra would you have? I say princess's power because otherwise everyone would choose DT shapeshifting.
Oh yeah, that would be a good one. I would love to have entraptors. I have hair that is 2 functioning arms that can help me out with shit.
Also amazing science brain.
Yeah, amazing science brain, and I have hair hands.
And tiny food.
I can make robot friends to help me.
Robot friends and tiny food.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that probably is. Or maybe perfumer. I'd like to be able to grow plants.
Oh, that's good. Glimmer's teleportation would be nice.
It would be cool to just bamf here and there.
Yeah, being able to teleport around is a super cool power.
Dungeon Kitty says, what's your favourite class in D&D? Supplementary classes allowed, and why is it Tabaxi Sorcerer with a pet owl?
I am basic. I really like my tiefling bards. Tieflings are cool. They're they're half demon people. They've got really cool aesthetics, and bards are just fun to play because they get to do infinity all the spells. They get so many different spells of so many different types. And charisma is just the best stat because you can talk people into shit. You get persuasion and deception, which aren't always useful. I like a good charisma-based spellcaster.
Yeah, I think it's barbarian halfling It might be Fighter Halfling. It's basically whichever one gives you the crit on 19 and 20.
Oh, yeah.
Because halflings also have halfling luck, which means that you can re-roll a natural one, which means basically you've got like a 1 in 10 chance of getting a crit.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
It's real good. Like, it's so handy, and also it's very fun when you're playing Eleanor.
Yeah.
It's just my favourite little creature.
Honestly, I think a lot of people's favourite, like, combination is also their favourite character. It's like, I like Beltari.
Beltari's a good character.
Yeah. I don't like classes that don't have lots of spells, because I suddenly am like, how do I solve problems if I can't just look at my list and go, I have a one that fixes that?
If you're Eleanor, the answer is stab it, or shit on it. Or flirt with it.
Those are the 3 options.
Pretty much. That's how she do. Becky Toohill. Hi, Becky!
Hi!
Asks, what phrases do you enjoy saying / think are really good? I mean, I have ones that I use a lot. I don't know if I think they're really good.
Yeah.
They're a bit... They kind of remind me of the weird old guy that lived next door to me as a kid.
Yeah.
Who'd always be like, be good, not too good, but fairly good.
Oh, that's great. I like ones that have good, like, pairs of words that have good mouthfeel. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is bumbling buffoon.
Ooh.
It's just got a nice, like, beat to it. Bumbling buffoon. Bumbling buffoon.
Mm-hmm. I like sleep well. Good night, sleep well. Don't let the biscuits eat you.
Don't let the biscuits eat you.
Don't let the biscuits eat you. The hobnobs are coming. Crimson, and it's very important that you see the picture related to this. What's your favourite game soundtrack? Also, please enjoy my 90s Chonky Pikachu plushes.
Oh, they're so cute. I forgot what the question was. Video game soundtracks.
Yep.
There's depends when you ask me. I think, here's the thing, I've recently gone back and played Beyond Good and Evil, and every time I replay that game, I'm like, oh, that game's soundtrack is so good. It has so many, like, absolute knee-slapper tracks to it. It's real good.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, okay, that's...
Like the original.
That's a classic, yeah.
It is. Also, the Black Mages have done some amazing cover versions.
Indeed.
Trying to think what else I have enjoyed. The original Lord of the Rings 1991, I think, interplay game on PC internal speaker. There's just something so growly about it.
So I wanted to bring up a Zelda game of some kind, and I think Twilight Princess, it's not just because we've played it recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the one that, for me, gets the best balance between wonderful orchestral versions of tracks that I know inside out. Because it's like, a lot of that game's soundtrack is, here's a track from Ocarina of Time, but what if we orchestralised it? And I'm like, yep, that's what I want.
Yeah. I really like the Wind Waker soundtrack.
Oh, it is good.
Super Mario World.
Yeah.
There's some bangers in that.
That's some good soundtracks.
I think that those are some good soundtracks. Arachnovolt says their choice would be A Cadence of Hyrule.
Oh, Cadence of Hyrule does have a good soundtrack.
Haven't played it. I'm sure it's got some amazing tracks in it.
It does. Oh, Mass Effect 2 as well.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 has some stunning, like, if you want just, like, really cool ambient space music, amazing soundtrack, particularly the track Suicide Mission, is phenomenal.
Sapphire Sunset asks, what was your first favourite outfit or clothing item after you came out and started presenting as yourselves?
Oh, I can 100% tell you. The outfit that, like, was the one outfit that I wore for, like, probably the first year that I was starting to come out was, I had, like, quite a nice dress that had a sort of, like, an abstract flowery pattern on it. Like, it wasn't just, like, here's a bunch of flowers on it. It was all slightly abstract, slightly abstracted shapes and colour choices. It wasn't overly flower patterned. It was just, you know, it was a nice skirt, nice dress. And over the top of it, I always paired a black denim jacket, and it was that combination of dress with black denim jacket that got me through, like, the first year of being out. It was, here is a thing that is clearly feminized and that is going to get coded as like, that is someone who wishes to be female pronouns to be used. But with enough of like my arms and shoulders and like chest covered that I felt like I wasn't gonna get misgendered on that front. It was a comfort outfit, that one.
Nice.
Plus, I could just about wear it in the summer. It wasn't overly hot, and in the winter, just pair it with tights, multiple layers of tights if needed.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh goodness. I think probably my raving outfit. So I found these really nice white skirts from 21. I unfortunately tie-dyed one of them several years later and regretted it almost immediately.
Oh no.
It's one of the few skirts that goes most of the way to the ground on me. Like you can just about see my ankles under it. And like a white tunic top with some slightly like embroidered bits around the neckline, but it's not super low cut, but it's got like a nice scoop neck. It's pretty subtle, but it was nice to sort of go raving because I'd come out like initially to a friend of mine who was a techno raver, and he was all about wear white all the time. The raves, because like there's going to be UV, there's going to be other colours.
It's going to pop really nicely.
It's going to pop really nicely in UV, and if there's no UV and there's just like disco lights, you're just going to reflect everything. It's going to look, you're going to fit in colourways with everybody.
Yeah.
And raving was one of the few times when I didn't feel like I needed to be sort of subdued.
Yeah.
Because most of the time after coming out, I was like day to day wearing like. I'm wearing black leggings and like a cardigan over a normal top just to go to work in, because I worked in offices.
Yeah, gosh, yeah. It's that period when you first come out of please don't notice I exist. Please let me just not be noticed by anyone.
Maximum frump.
Yeah, or just lots of like very little in the way of like splashy noticeable colours. Like be as muted and understated as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Do not look at me.
Don't look at me. Yeah, so it was nice to go raving and just be like, I glow.
Yeah,
you can make what you want of that. Wood. I still love that name. What do you think is the franchise you've spent the most hours on?
Pokemon.
I mean, if we're going for a whole franchise, it's got to be Zelda. Because I've replayed them so many times.
I've replayed them so many times, but like I have put in like I've put somewhere in the region of 1,600 hours into Pokemon just in the last like 2 years. Like I've played a fucking lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, I've played a lot of Pokemon.
Like I've not only replayed them, but I finished playing them and then I keep going with them. I play a lot of Pokemon.
You do play a lot of Pokemon.
I got 2 more shiny Pokemon today.
Yay! Shiny friends.
I got a Timber and a Silverly.
Yay, friends! Is the Silverly silver?
He's got, well, it's usually silver. He's now got sort of gold, like bronzy gold on it.
So it's more than a goldly now.
Yeah.
Maggie J. Evans.
Hi.
What do you prefer? A game with a gender non-conforming main character, or a game which allows you to create your own?
Game where I get to create my own, because then I can personalize them how I like, as opposed to... I like having some control and getting to feel like, I made that character.
That is an avatar of me.
Yeah.
I can't think of a game I've played where there is a gender non-conforming character. I would like to see more of that.
Undertale's protagonist is never gendered.
But is that gender non-conforming, or is that they were never explicitly gendered?
Yeah, I suppose. Gender non-conforming. It depends how you define gender non-conforming. I can think of some characters that might apply to, but generally video games like to binary up their characters. We've yet to really stretch much past the binary.
Oh, yeah, I'd be very up for seeing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like to pick a character and make it like as me as possible.
Exactly.
Or an idealised version of myself. Looking at you,
Exactly.
President of the United States from Saints Row 4.
Indeed.
And that is all the questions.
Well then.
Time for this.
So for this.
Do Do you want to know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Racial justice warriors.
Racial justice warriors?
Yeah.
All right, Larry.
All right, Barry. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, mate. How are you?
I'm all right. You surviving?
Just about, yeah. I miss the human contact.
As we all do. I did a trip to the shops the other day. Did my every now and then trip. Had me face mask on and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I happened to pass a couple of homeless people on my local town centre as I was heading to the shops, and they had face masks and gloves and whatnot. But I stopped and spoke to a woman because I suddenly had this sort of realisation that there's probably not a lot of people around helping people out right now. I stopped and had a chat, and yeah, the impression I got from the conversation was very much homeless people right now are struggling because there's not a lot of people around.
Yeah.
There's very few people around, and those people who are around are deathly afraid to go near anyone they don't know, it seems. Which is a convenient excuse to not, engage with homeless people.
Yeah, well, I suppose that is a real problem, despite what the government have said about, having housed people or at least got them off the street.
The problem is like, that's true, they have got homeless people off the street for the most part in the country, they've given them places to sleep, but largely that doesn't come with food to eat. And, that means that a homeless person has still got to get, not only have they still got to get food to eat, but also they need the ability to, not be entirely alone, which is always a situation. And, from the, I've spoken to a couple of people while I've been out, and yeah, there's been a real lack of people ignoring homeless communities even more than normal, trying to avoid engaging with them, which is really, quite a depressing thing to think about.
Yeah.
I know I've been a little bit at fault on this because since this whole pandemic started, I've really not used cash a lot because I've been trying to avoid having cash on me. I'm trying to use my card where I can.
I'll be honest, I've had the same tenner in my purse since about 2 weeks before this started.
Yeah, I had that same realisation, and I was like, you know what? I should probably this is just a personal choice for me because I can afford to do so. I've made sure to have a little bit of cash on me in case I happen to see people in need so that I can, have something on hand to give them. Because I had a couple of tenors in me purse, and I gave them to this particular person. It was just like, I stopped and had a chat for a bit and realised that, this is a thing that is, happening even less than it usually does. Like, no one is stopping to talk to homeless people right now or to look after them, and it's, I feel like now more than ever we should probably, if you can afford to, if you've got the time or the money to do so, to get your foot out and do it where you can.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah. The world is a rough place sometimes.
It is. It's a lot right now, and, especially for certain sections of our society.
Indeed.
Virtue love, mate.
Virtue love.
Good up. Well, I'm going to pop the kettle on.
I'm also going to go put my kettle on.
Nice, we'll have a cup of tea, mate.
Yeah, separately you have cups of tea.
Yeah.
So, Laura.
Me?
Where can we find you on the internet, darling?
Laura K. Buzz in all of the places. Laura K. Buzz on Twitter, Laura K. Buzz on Twitch. I'm there Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Got them the wrong way around. YouTube, I am uploading more content there. I'm currently trying to do, anytime I do a written feature, I'm trying to do a video component for it as well. Ones that we had up this week, we had Zelda enemies that social distance. By the time this goes up, there should be a video about Beyond Good and Evil and the slightly depressing nature of its optimistic look at government overthrowing, which should be up by then. Patreon, Laura K. Buzz on Patreon, that's the one that pays the bills. If you can chuck me $1 or more a month over there, that really helps. It's what makes my career possible. LauraKBuzz.com. Everything I post ends up there, be it written articles, freelance features, videos, podcasts, you name it, it ends up there. I do some freelance stuff for sci-fi. I did a thing about the old person's dating sim Later Daters that is up now, that you can see on Sci-Fi Fangirls. I've got some books. There's Uncomfortable Labels, which is about being gay and trans and on the autism spectrum, and it is available right now where books are sold, or as an audiobook on LauraKBuzzStore.com. There's also Things I Learned from Mario's Butt. It's a silly, illustrated coffee table book of video game character butt reviews with a bunch of developer interviews and guest segments from video game critics, and it's a real good book. It got delayed to February 4th, 2021 because of the whole everything right now, but progress is happening on it. I got to see the full front and back cover design today, with like all the blurbs and the little pull quotes and the text that go on the back of the book. I know what the spine of the book looks like now. Ooh, look at me.
Fancy schmancy.
And then I've got some podcasts, because I do too much fucking stuff. Pixel Squirt is a podcast where I talk about video game character pornography with Mari and Stacey from Geek Remix. There is also Podquisition, where we tell you whether your favourite video games are great or perfect. There is Dice Funk, where we play Dungeons and Dragons. I am on seasons 3, 4, 5, 6, and soon season 7. Every season's a self-contained story, so you can jump into any particular season. We're currently doing a little mini-season where we're basically doing a Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, sort of detective courtroom drama, but with magic. It's called Guns, Puns and Justice, and we are in the midst of that. It's going to be like probably 4 or 5 episodes long. We're, coming toward the end of it. If you want to have something... That's good if you want to have a more bite-sized taste of Will I Enjoy Dice Funk. It's like 4 or 5 episodes. That'll give you a good feel for it. Also, I'm on another D&D podcast. Jane, I'm going to throw it over to you, because you DM that one.
I've caught Polyamory.
Polyamory?
Yes. It's a 5th edition real play podcast. It's an evil campaign. Where you and Becky and Nick and sometimes James do very morally questionable things in the pursuit of ultimate, probably good things for the world at large. But for your own benefits. It's very silly. I DM it, and I'm really hyped for people to catch up with it, because we are recording many episodes in advance.
Yeah, so we have many months of this show.
We do. So don't worry, it's going to be sticking around for a while. The next episode of that should have been out the day before this episode of Quips came out. So, yeah. Check that out on my feed. I am Maniac Janiac on Twitter and YouTube. That's where you'll find pretty much everything I do. Also, I have a Patreon. Patreon.com/StonedMonkeyRadio. For as little as $1 a month, you can support me to make silly things. I would super appreciate it. Also, I'm trying to save up for BC. Thanks.
Yeah.
Because it's really difficult to do things right now.
Jane.
Help me, please. Help. I also make t-shirts. You can get one of my fantastic t-shirt designs over at janiac.redbubble.com. That's JANEIAC. I think that's most of the important ones. StoneMonkeyRadio.blog. Sometimes I write things. That's definitely all the important things. Laura, sing us out, darling.
Until next time, be a stranger.